Hello world, this is Jay from Curio. We're here with a set 1 box of Riftbound Origins. We're going to go ahead and give this a crack open to see what to expect from set 1. You'll be able to find Riftbound packs, cards, deck boxes, accessories, and locals at all of your local Curio locations. That being said, let's see what we get. This will be a mostly cold look at it, as I had not yet looked at the set or any kind of spoilers, so we'll see what happens. 3 cost spell action and a hidden player sprite with temporary. So temporarily be able to have a unit at a location for 3 cost. Find your center. If your opponent scores 3 points within the victory, this costs 2 less. Draw 1, channel run 1, exhausted. So at the end of the game, if your opponent's about to close it out, this will cost 1, so draw 1 and ramp 1. Blazing Scorcher, just a basic rush down. When you play a gear, ready me. So for all the runes and additional gear that you play that'll let you ramp, this will basically say, this swings out, you play a new gear, this will be ready to play again. So this will give utility decks a little bit of more field and aggression presence. A bounce. When you play me, generate 2 tokens. Surprise 3 my unit. When you play me, buff 2 friendly units. So a 4 for 4, which is fine, but you get to buff 2 other friendly units. So Lee Sin is going to want to play several of these Kinku monks. You may kill a gear, draw 1. Thank you. During the Learn to Plays, we found out that the gears that let you ramp and channel a rune early are too good. So being able to kill a gear to stifle their mana ramping is going to be very important. When you hold here, draw 1. Annie's Disintegrate. We have a Tarek champion. Shield, tank, other friendly units here have shield. So whenever he goes to a location with other friendly units, any spells targeting them also cost 1 as well. Kench, Shakedown. Reaction, choose enemy unit, deals 6 unless its controller has you draw 2. Snipe a unit for 6, otherwise they let you refill your hand. For 2 mana, that's pretty good, especially in red. And then a Calm Rune. Clockwork Keeper, you may pay an extra additional room. If you do, draw 1, 2 for 2, 2 for 3, and a draw 1 for 3, not bad. Get excited once one of Jinx's cards, consult the past trap card, draw 2 for 4, stun a unit, doesn't deal damage. Find or flight, move a unit from battlefield to its base, retreat, and save one of your units. First mate, ready in a unit. Eclipse Herald, 7 for 7. When you stun an enemy unit, ready me and give me +1 might. 7 for 7. And then with additional field control by stunning, gets to turn into an 8 and then swing out again. But unless it has ganking, it's still just stuck in that location. But if it's played on your turn, it comes in rested. Stun a unit, it then turns active, and then it can then immediately go into a battlefield at a different location. Okay. Noxian Drummer, Facebreaker for sets. Teemo. Yeah, you may pay 1 to hide a card with hidden instead of whatever it costs. 1 plus you rest him. Put a Teemo unit you own into your hand from your champion zone or the board. You get to save a Teemo unit versus letting it die. I guess that's just part of the Scout's code. Sabotage. Choose reveal their hand, choose a non-unit card from it, and recycle that card. You, for 1 cost to learn everything that your opponent has in their hand and then diminish it by 1. This is Trap Dust Shoot from Yu-Gi-Oh! All over again. Top end, Death Knell, draw 1, Shield Tank. When a friendly unit moves from my location, I may be moved with it. So if you have a unit that gets readied or has ganking, this unit will tag along for free. So this will be how certain red-purple decks close out the final turn to conquer all 8 locations because you have a free 4 might coming in. Each player kills one of their units. Tank, Volibear ramp and tanking. Give me +2. So for any kind of trappy deck like Teemo, this turns into a 6 might on the turn that you play a trap. Iron Ballista that comes in exhausted as a gear. So every turn you get to deal 2 damage to a unit. This is definitely something that you're going to want to snipe with that gear removal because you're going to soften it up to put you in range for other nukes like Annie. When you defend here, move a friendly unit from here to base. So if you end up going wide, you'll get a free move when your opponents swing in. Challenge, promising future. Look at the 5 card. Chooses one to recycle the rest of the next play. Each player plays ignoring energy cost. Every player gets to look at the top 5, choose a deck, choose one, recycle everything else, and then play it for free. That is a high risk, minimal reward unless you can manipulate your opponent's decks. Mystic Reversal. For green, gain control of a spell, you may make new choices for it. You pay 4, recycle 3 to redirect someone else's spell. Okay. Chemtech Enforcer. Smokescreen. Stand United. Back to back. Ramp. Bounce. Sprite Mother. When you play me, ready a 3 might sprite with temporary. You get 6 might for 4, but the 3 will go away. Reckoner's Arena. When you hold your activate the conquer effects of units here. Okay. Wildclaw Shaman. When you play me, you may spend a buff to ready it right. Draw 1. Hey, Leona as champion. 4 for 4. Shield. When I attack, I stun an enemy unit. So it doesn't deal combat damage. So when you swing in, stun a unit, you deal damage to it. So it's the magic equivalent of first strike. You get to basically always have first strike whenever you swing in with her. Okay. Convergent Mutation. Choose a friendly unit. Increase its might until its might equals the might of another friendly unit. So if you have a 1/1 token and then your top end, you get to mutate the 1 might token to match your top end. I guess we should save that Leona card. Giving us a unit assault 3+3. Let's an attacker. When you play me, draw 1, 2 for 3, and draw 1, and it's a tank. Crosshair Corsair. Cycle back a creature. Hidden Blade trap. Kill a unit. Its controller draws 2. Interesting. that seems like a pretty high cost towards the end of the game when people have a lot of rooted mana to play cards, but at the beginning, because they won't have ramped it as much, they would have committed all the resources to a single card to which you snipe to give them 2 more cards to set them up for mid-game. Flurry of Blades. Deal 1 to all units at battlefields. Oh, Katarina. Zana Bouncer. Play me and return another unit. Facebreaker, Void Seeker. Foil Void Seeker. Mind Splitter. When you play me, choose an opponent. They reveal their hand, choose a card from it. They discard that card. 7 for 7 and gain knowledge of your opponent's hand, and they discard that card to cripple them. Last Stand. Double a friendly unit's might this turn, give it temporary for 3. You stop an enemy from coming in and overwhelming one of your units, but then you lose that unit. So if you were to have a Yi at 12, he'll turn it into 24, but you lose the Yi. Okay. If afterwards you're able to bounce it back to hand, then you're able to save that card. Okay. This is Volibear's W. It gets cheaper. So the bigger guy you have, the cheaper this becomes. And then let's say you have a 6 might guy. This turns into a 5 for 2. That ends up being worth it, but it's only worth it towards the end of the game or near late game. 6 for 6 and nuke for 6. That's pretty good. So assuming that this is the second or higher card this turn, this turns into a 4 for 2. That's not bad. Another bounce. Token generator. Buffs. Buffs. Altar to Unity. When you hold here, get another token. Recycle 3 when you play it. No. Yes. And then pay 1 and recycle down to draw 1. Oh, recycle 3 from trash, so you remove it, so you can't do it. But if you pay 1 and then tap this down, you get to draw a card. Okay. So as long as you filled up your grave, this will let you draw out the rest of your deck. Foil Flurry of Blades. Foil Champion Draven. Might is increased by your points. So the faster you are able to hit battlefields, the fatter and bigger Draven becomes. Set Champion. Tank +1 for each buffed friendly unit at my battlefield. So you're going to want to toss him in with your Lee Sins. Okay. Eager Apprentice, Playful Phantom, Petty Officer, Mobilize, Straightforward Nuke, Move, Hand Cycle, increase the points needed to win the game by 1. So now it turns into a 9-point game. So any kind of this would favor any kind of deck that ramps fast. So you can take control as soon as possible and establish board control, while everyone else is not then struggling to catch up. 2, draw 1. Darius, Reaction and Legion. Add 1 rune if you played a card this turn. Release and Accelerate. Come in ready to other buffed units. As far as legend cards are concerned, so far we've gotten 2 legend cards and these 4 champion cards. Guard, get excited, Orb of Regret, Call to Glory. As you play this, spend a buff as additional cost. If you do, ignore the spell's cost, give you a +3. So in a Lee Sin deck, spend a buff to get +3 might for free. When you conquer here, cycle. When you play me, give a unit +2 as long as you played a different card this turn because it's Legion. Reaction, add 1. Spend, yes. Spend 3 as a gear. You keep adding 1 rune to your mana pool every turn. Champion Warwick. He comes in ready. When I attack, kill all damaged enemy units there. So if you're able to soften up units before he swings in, he will immediately wipe them all out. That makes red-orange decks good. But so far, I don't think there are any red-orange decks. Stupefy, Guardian, Bully, the Wind, Blade. Units here have ganking. When any unit takes damage this turn, kill it. Interesting. Okay. Wraith of Echoes, 5 for 6. First time a friendly unit dies each turn, draw 1. Shen, Champion. Reaction, play anytime, shield +2, tank. 3 for 3, and has a bunch of defensive stuff. Gear, Baited Hook. Kill a friendly unit, look at the top 5 of your main deck, play a unit amongst them that has might up to 1 more than the killed unit, ignoring its cost, and recycle the rest. Kill a top end, get a top end for free. Or I guess, kill something mid-rangey, get something slightly better mid-rangey. So far, a bunch of cards that we've now seen before. Spells and abilities, each deal 1 bonus damage. So if you combo that with some of the anti stuff, your multi-target spells can do 2 extra damage per instance. More gear hate. Fighter flight. Save one of your cards. Save one of your cards. Caitlyn. I must be assigned combat damage last because you're the longest range ADC, firing from way back when. Deal damage equal to a might to unit on the battlefield. Use ability only while I'm at a battlefield. So she must be ready at a battlefield. You cannot use this the turn that she goes to a battlefield, but if you're able to ready her on your next turn, she can then snipe from battlefield to battlefield. Choppers, Smokescreen, Poro, Magnaworm, Forge of the Future. When you play this, play a 1 might recruit token at your base. Kill this, recycle up to 4 card from trashes. So if your opponent's about to cycle something, cycle it back to hand, you can then deny them. Free buff, more Lee Sin stuff. Dump 2, draw 2. At the start of each player's first beginning phase, that player gains a point. So this accelerates the game. Okay. This accelerates the game to make it so anyone who can successfully continuously hold a location or easily go to all 3 locations earlier in the game will then have the advantage. So maybe a Yasuo. When you're ready, your friendly unit, give it +1. So any kind of continuous readying effects, like Udyr, can then keep giving free might out. Albus Ferris. When you play me, spend any number of buffs. Each buff spent channel runes. Oh, that's crazy. 3 might for 4, stack buffs, and then ramp. So you can go from mid-rangey rune to end game rune very quickly. Another Darius champion. When you play your second card, so the opposite of Legion, give me +2 and ready me. And ready me. Mortal Phoenix. Assault 2. When you kill a unit with a spelling, pay 1 to play me from trash. So cycle him into trash with Jinx's effect, play any one of her nukes, pay an additional 1, and then she 1 and 1, and then the Phoenix comes back out onto the board for board presence. That's pretty good for Jinx. That's decent for Annie. +1 might, -1 might. Counter a spell that costs no more than 4. We have our counter spell, 1 and 1 in green. Discarding cards, so this will be great for Jinx. Ready, draw 1. Cemetery Attendance. When you play me, returning from trash to hand. So 3 for 3 is whatever, but being able to recycle back a unit. When you conquer here, spend a buff, draw 1, Portal Rescue. Banish a friendly unit, then play to base, ignoring its cost. That has an action. Orange Showdown. So if you're about to lose a unit because your opponent is swinging, no, you can't even do that because this is not a reaction. You use this to save a stranded unit at one of your battlefields to have it ready next turn. But because you're playing it again, any kind of enter the battlefield effects or one plate effects also trigger. Okay. When you play me, discard 2, draw 2. Splitter, Jinx Legend, Kraken Hunter, Accelerate, Assault. You may pay me, spend a number of buffs, reduce my cost for each buff. So if you have free buffs, she could potentially be an additional 0. You pay the 1 and 1, so you have to recycle 3 runes, but then you get a 5 might that can swing out immediately. But if you have gear to help offset that cost, then that's not so bad. Definitely good for mid-rangey, tempo-y kind of stuff. Disintegrate. Solari Chief. When you play me, choose an enemy unit. If it's stunned, kill it. Otherwise, stun it. 4 for 5, stunning or killing. So pair this with the Leonas or the Rune Prisons, so you can immediately pop any unit. First time you choose your friendly unit with a spell here, draw 1. If you're consistently adding might via spells, this will help you replenish your hand back. Window. My might is increased by a number of cards in trash. In blue, at the start of your beginning phase, recycle 3 from trash. So he's diminishing your trash after cycling everything in. But if you have 8 runes, let's say you've got 7 cards in trash, he becomes a 13 for 8. On your next turn, you recycle 3 out. He becomes a 10 for 8 that's swinging out, unless you ready him on the turn he comes in. Fiora, while I'm mighty, I have deflect, ganking, and shield. I'm mighty while I have 5 or more. Give her any kind of single buff, deflect, ganking, and shielding. So she's harder to target. She can go battlefield to battlefield, and I forget what deflect is. Solari Shieldbreaker. When you play me, stun a unit. Fantastic. Flame Chompers, Open Regret, Wielder of Water, Cult Glory, Scales, Unlicensed Armory. Discard one and rest. Choose a friendly unit. Next time it dies its turn, you may pay 1 red to recall it exhausted instead. As a gear, you get to protect a unit. It'll swing out. If it dies, it just then comes back to base. When you conquer here, recycle one of your runes. This punishes non-ramping decks. Recurrent Accelerate, comes in ready. Ready me, recycle me to ready your runes when he dies. Okay. Grand Stratagem, give friendly units +5 might. That's huge. Volibear. This is the big Volibear. Deflect 2. Oh, that's what Deflect 2 is. They pay more to target, right. When I attack, deal 5. Yep. Mega Mix of Vanilla, Meditation. Pack of Wonders. Gear. Rest, another friendly, return another friendly gear or unit or hidden card to the owner's hand. So if you're playing against a team or whatever, or any kind of other gear ramping deck, get to cycle it back just to set them back a turn. So, pseudo anti-gear hate? No, this is anti-gear hate. No, this is gear hate. Excuse me. Then a unit moves here, give it +1 from here. So when a unit leaves. So any kind of ganking from here, we give it +1. Okay. 3 for 1. Tide Turner. When you play me, choose a friendly unit, move me to its location, add it to my location. So if you have your top end at a different location, you play this hidden, an opponent comes in. If the bigger unit is bigger, you play this to swap it. So you hold the other location with this, and then your big unit now defeats the enemy incoming attack. And you deflect them and then deny them the resources they spent to come in, while you now hold 2 locations. And then Yasuo. When I attack, deal damage to, That's definitely Yasuo crit things. I guess it's more of his E. Disintegrate, Falling Comet, On Guard. Wind Wall. Counter a spell. Any spell. Okay. Starting with the next player, each player may return a unit to the owner's hand. Starting with the next turn, enemies can just bounce enemy units to hand. Okay, so a vindictive board control. You may hide an additional card here. So if you're a trap or hidden based player, you can have 2 separate cards at this location. When you hold here, play recruit your token. Vayne. If an opponent controls a battlefield iron to ready. When I conquer, you may pay 1 mana to return me to my owner's hand. So you use her to go into a location just to conquer it, but not hold it. An MF Legend. Giving a gank in this turn. Yeah, being able to go battlefield to battlefield on a whim, especially after you've ramped and now start having your top end on board, is pretty good. That's a pretty good version of her strut. Daring Portal, Flurry of Blades. When a buffed friendly unit dies, buff another friendly unit. So pass around. And it's a gear, so it's just passively, so it always sits here. So that buff passes around for every time that buff unit dies. Because it's not once per turn. They spend a buff as an additional cost if you do ignore this ready a unit. So for spend a buff to ready a unit so it can swing out again. When you defend your choose a unit against shield 2. Top end Volibear. Victor. Player recruit token. So as part of the control deck, this is how you get more tokens that he wants to have. So he passively buffs them. And then we have a fancy rune card. I'm going to take a stab and say there's going to be one fancy rune per box. Apprentice, Charm, Hextech Ray, 3 for 1. When you play a gear, ready me. Death Knell, so ramp for yellow. Gear hate. Kill all gears. Okay. She's from Legends of Runeterra. Hope she made it through the academy. When you play another unit, buff me. Some more buffs. Because Lee Sin has yellow-orange. So she gets free buffs as you play units with, like, Legion. And you have more buffs to spend. Captain Found. Garbage Grabber. Set. Ready a friendly unit. Pay the orange and exhaust this to ready it. So if you buff an exhausted unit, pay the orange, exhaust this, and then it can swing out again. All right, Rune Prison to stun. Combo this with Leona and then the Solaris stuff, and you get to have battlefield control and combat control. Jeweled Colossus. Look at the top, and then Shield. Daring Poro, Confront, Spirit's Refuge. When you play this, buff a friendly unit. Friendly buff units have Deflect. Interesting. Retreat. Return a friendly unit in order to the units to hand. Bounce to hand, and then ramp 1. Ooh, Nocturne. Ganking. He has 4 for 4. When you look at cards from the top of your deck, don't draw them and see me. You may pay. Whoa, okay. So any kind of card that lets you look at the top of your deck, you pay the 1 rune, and then he hits the board for 1. Okay. That's pretty good. Party favors, chooses cards or runes. For each player that chooses cards, you and that player each draw 1, choose runes. So, group, hug, ramp, or draw. Get the suplex, buff a friendly unit in base, and move it to the battlefield. It doesn't have a buff. So for 1 buff, and then move it. Okay. Guard, Cleave, Stupefy, Stealthy Pursuit, Vanguard Captain, Pit Rookie, Cemetery Assistant. When it leaves the board, draw 1 channel rune. 1 exhaust, kill this. So draw 1 ramp 1. Okay. Ramp in purple. Purple doesn't normally have ramp, so okay. Assaulting, ganking. Neat. 4 for 4, and because in red, like in Jinx, you discard a card as you hand cycle, so then he gets to swing a little harder and go battlefield to battlefield. Champion Jinx. And then Legend Lee Sin. Consult the past, hidden reaction, blah, 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 blah. Back to back, arena bar. Symbol of the Solari. If a comment where you are the attacker ends in a tie, recall all the units instead. Huh. So you can deliberately force a tie just to have them clear out, to have one of your 1/1 tokens come in and capture it easily. Okay. Find a Nocturne. When you hold here, buff a unit here. Guard Sergeant. Overt Operation action. For each friendly unit, he may spend its buff to ready it, then buff all friendly units. So spend their buffs to make them active again, and then they regain their buffs. Okay. Kaisa. Ganking. When a conqueror, you may play a spell from your trash with energy cost less than the points. So late game, she's just getting her spells for free. That's going to be excellent for Lux. All right, Noxus Hopeful. Mega Mech. Stand United. Toddy Poro. Petty Officer. Spectral Matron. Play unit costing no more than 3, no more than Rainbow from your trash, ignore its cost. Right, 4 for 2, get a unit 3 or less from trash. Karma. You recycle one or more of your cards, buff, generating buffs. 6 for 6, and you get to look at the top deck. TS. When I attack, reveal the top rune of your rune deck, then recycle it, then do one of the following based on its domain. Deal 2. This is his pick a card. Here is that 0 cost gear that lets you ramp. I feel that just about every deck's probably going to be running as many of these in all colors as they can to ramp as fast as possible. These are all cards that we've now seen before. Rune Prison, Vengeance, Zonias. Next time a friendly unit would die, kill this instead. Recall that unit exhausted. Yeah, so save a unit and send it back to base, so next turn it can swing back out. When you play me, deal 6. Solari Shieldbreaker, stuns. Discard 1. Confront, deckhand. Adaptatron. If I conquer, you may kill a gear. If you do, buff me. Buff their mana kill the mana generation for a gear hate, and then get the buff. Then if you have any kind of buff consumption, profit off of that. Vi, Best Girl. Legend set. When a buff unit you control would die, you may pay a rune and exhaust me to spend its buff and recall it. When you conquer, ready me. So rest him to save a unit. Then on that turn, if you conquer somewhere else, you can then rest him again to save another unit. Oh, this is special foiled Teemo. Scout hidden when you play me. Give me +3 this turn. Okay. So generally speaking, this is a look at, I guess, what you can expect. 1 special rune, 6 legends, 5 full art or borderless, however you want to call it, cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 champion cards. So basically 1 a pack, although some of our packs did have 2 champion cards at a time. So that has been a box of set 1 for Riftbound. Come to Curio Play in locals and get everything you need for Riftbound. For everyone cracking packs, good hunting. For everyone else, good night.